Cameron, Matt, thanks so much. And it is going to be an exciting playoff series to continue following. Thrilled to be alongside current touring pro Yates Johnson. I'm Michelle McMahon. It's a best 2 out of 3 match series in the playoffs. And of course, as they mentioned, DC up a match. They could close out the series here in match number 2 against the Texas Ranchers. But as Matt Manassi mentioned at the desk, the X factor for Texas, though we're starting with women's doubles. For him, it is Christian Alshon. Missed that big serve at game point, up 2 points, and could have gone up 2-0 on DC. Missed it, and now Texas finds themselves in a hole. So we turn our attention now to Tina Pisnik, 43 years old, was a 30th overall selection in this year's draft. She's the steady player on the left. Etta Wright will be our first server over to Vivian Glozman, the other X factor for Manassi, and Rachel Rohrabacher playing the left for DC, the team in black. Big out of the gate, Rachel Rohrabacher rises when the moment means the most. She's a fierce competitor, Rachel Rohrabacher, 27 years old, already has an MLP title to her name. Just wide, and that's something that Kyle McKenzie, coach for DC, told me that they were going to start working in, is dinking down the line to test the outer edges of the kitchen.
1-1.
Your thoughts on that? Nice play from Etta Wright.
Yeah, I think the dink down the line is definitely crucial. I think both of these women, Etta has a lot of reach. She can kind of take that cross-court dink out of the air. I think it's a safe bet going line. Even if they speed up at you, you can just kind of sit on it and be ready.
That's deep. A whole lot of pressure coming from the left. Rachel Rohrabacher's wing. Vivian Glozman seeking her first career MLP title. Got the promotion to premier level earlier this season. Rachel won a title back in Atlanta in September of 2023 at the Orlando Squeeze. It was the draft that she was originally discovered. That court serve, will replay it. Into the net for Rohrabacher. Tina Pisnik does a nice job of keeping Rohrabacher back at the baseline.
3-2.
It's an interesting matchup because you have Etta and Vivian, both kind of one of the taller women on tour. They have a lot of reach, a lot of power. And then you have Rachel and Tina across from each other, super consistent. They don't really miss a lot. They're kind of like backboards out there. It's a definitely interesting matchup, pretty even if you ask me.
The tape, Texas up 3 early in game number 1. Asked GC why they wanted to put their women out first. They said that's how they've usually run it. They've only put their men out first in conditions where it's hot. And they feel good about this pairing, Rachel and Vivian Glozman. But tough team across the net, too, in Texas. Etta Wright and Tina Pisnik, 2 of the best women's doubles teams across the board.
3-5.
Clean up and set it by Rachel Rohrabacher. First pulling Etta Wright off the kitchen, then closing on her own side.
Yeah, Rachel did a great job of kind of reaching in there with that forehand, expecting that second one to come back. Didn't have to be that big. She get a nice little angle on that backhand.
Side out, point 6. Six-4.
Third into the net. DC back within 1 and back with the serve on Rachel Rohrabacher's paddle.
5-6.
it's Jeep.
Point.
What a play by Rohrabacher to stay in the point to tie it at 6.
6-6.
What a play. Vivian Glozman rock solid with the backhand counter. She was lights out in Miami, too. We called the match where her backhand was heating up.
Yeah, she's got a lot of
7-6.
power with that thing. She really rotates well. She gets out of the way. She's able to slide, but she really covers the middle very well.
Ooh, what a play. Tina Pisnik attacks off the bounce. In yesterday's matchup, the Ranchers won 25-21 in women's doubles. Do you like the new 2 out of 3 playoff series
7-7.
situation where you play the team best 2 out of 3? Little too high from Glozman. Right, gobbles it up.
Yeah, you know, I do like the 2 out of 3 format, playing the same team, having to kind of play them. You know, it's kind of like the NBA or you know,
8-7.
baseball, where it's kind of like a mini series, and you just kind of have to, you know, I think it's a good testament of you know, maybe who is actually the better team, and because you have so many different opportunities.
Beautiful setup from Tina Pisnik on the left, rolled it through. What do you think about Etta Wright playing the right and Tina Pisnik on the left?
Yeah, you know, they've switched up.
9-7.
Usually Etta is more comfortable on the left, I'd say, and Tina's kind of the backboard, you know, on the right, and super solid. But as you saw at that last point, Tina does have that one-handed backhand flick, which is super crucial.
10-7.
She's very consistent, and I think she's been working on just being a little more aggressive. So I think she can handle that left side very well.
Oh, it's Jeep. Tina Pisnik gets out of the way. Glozman misses a sitter.
Kind of touching back on the Texas Ranchers.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I like Etta on the right as well is she has that reach. She's consistent, but I think she can be a little bit more of aggressive right side player. And Tina just keeps making a bunch of balls, and she's still able to produce quite a bit of, you know, offense and aggression if she has to.
Wow, such good pressure from Tina Pisnik and Etta Wright, forcing DC on their heels. 1 point away from the end change.
I mean, like I was saying before, you just saw it again from Tina. She's reaching in very well. She's able to use that one-handed backhand, speed up. I think a lot more women on tour are starting to develop that shot, but she's, you know, that shot for her is quite dangerous.
Wow. Tina Pisnik is a machine. 13-7 lead for the Texas Ranchers here. Has the hot hand in men's doubles next. So if Quang has it, he'll put that mixed doubles team out first, or if Christian has it, he would do the latter.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to see who has the most momentum, who's feeling the best.
Vivian Glozman, the enforcer, and they need a big response in a big hole early, especially with a lethal men's doubles matchup coming up. Cannot wait to see the rematch there. good lead from Tina Pisnik. She reached up for it.
So another reason why I think that maybe Tina's on the left is she's got a really, really consistent backhand dink. And then you have Rachel on the other side using her two-handed backhand roll. So I think it's just a little bit of a different view than you would have from Etta Wright.
And Tina Pisnik playing right now. I mean, unbelievable. Look at this.
15-8.
Closing to the middle, crashing high-level tennis background, had a career-ending injury, resurrected her pro career in pickleball. That's wide two. DC in trouble. 16-8 lead now for the Ranchers.
Yeah, the Rangers are just playing so solid right now, not making a lot of errors. They're pulling the trigger at the right times. They're executing perfectly.
Rohrabacher going for the lob, desperate to get something going on their side. And the Ranchers follow it back deep of the baseline. DC calling a timeout with Etta Wright on the right and Tina Pisnik on the left. Not so much a traditional alignment we see with these two, but so far, for me, Tina Pisnik has been the star of the show.
Yeah, I'm liking Tina on the left. She has a lot of variety. She has the consistency in dinking, but also the ability to speed up and pull the trigger. And I think Etta Wright is consistent enough on the right side. She can dink well. She can reach really far into the kitchen. She has a lot of good reach. And also she has that one-handed backhand flick as well.
Can play both sides very well.
Time in. 17-8.
Wow, great creation on the side of Rachel Rohrabacher, start to finish.
That's one of those things I think she does very well is you know, she doesn't have the most powerful shots, the most powerful paddle, but I think she speeds up really well. She kind of, it's like a 70% speed up, and she's always ready to clean that second ball up. It's always a setup shot, and she does that very well.
Nice play again off the bounce. Tina Pisnik with the fadeaway winner through the middle.
Yeah, you don't see that a lot, you know, especially on that back foot. But she held that nicely. She waited for, I think, Vivian Glozman to kind of slide
18-9.
right. Very, very good disguise there.
Vivian Glozman accepts the pop-up chance, creates it too. And not totally out of sight yet, but 8 points is quite the deficit to overcome.
Yeah, this is kind of right on the borderline. I'd say 7 or 8 is doable. You know, when you start getting 9, you know, 10, 11, and when they start pulling away, that's when it starts to be a little more difficult. Not impossible now, though.
And Rachel Rohrabacher answers back to Tina Pisnik, who just burned them on that shot a moment ago.
Yeah, very good. I mean, she's pulled the trigger down the line to Etta Wright a couple times. So that's a great location to go in the middle once you see that Etta's covering that line from previous shots.
DC, full offensive attack. Unrelenting pressure from the kitchen. It's clear now that they're the instigators, so to speak, on offense.
Yeah, I think that's maybe something that Kyle McKenzie, you know, said on that timeout they just took is maybe giving free rein to Rachel to start pulling the trigger more and just telling Vivian Glozman to be ready and just sit there like she just did there. Great backhand in the middle.
What a run here for DC. 3 unanswered points so far causes the timeout called by the Texas Ranchers. We're going to take a quick timeout, too. Midway through game number 1, it's up for grabs now between DC and Texas. National franchise that you would see in the NBA, pro soccer, NHL. It's pretty awesome to see. Rachel Rohrabacher wanted to test that line on Etta Wright.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that's great about MLP. It's just all the different ownership groups and how many people are involved. And it just seems that, you know, everyone wants a piece of MLP.
Wow, what a setup from Etta to work the backhand side of Rohrabacher, and it costed them on the lob attempt.
You know, I don't think that was a bad lob. I think it was a good thought, but I think Tina's just too good at kind of covering that and shifting towards the middle like she did.
Tina Pisnik going for MVP of game number 1.
Yeah, she's on an absolute tear. Super, super consistent. I think everything that she's doing is very well thought out, very strategic, but super simple. Just make the dinks, super consistent, speed up when you can.
Games at 25, win by 2, and on your serve. Wow. Pisnik again cannot be stopped. A brick wall out in front.
I thought that was a good speed up from Rachel. I think maybe Viv Glozman could have slid and covered that middle. I think that was hers, but...
Forgive me, Etta Wright. Looked like it was Pisnik, but I think it went off the backhand of Etta. Rohrabacher finds the middle again. Is it too late, though, for DC to make a push? That's the question. Now they're 12 points behind.
14-22. Point. $15-22.
Oh, that's nice. I think that might have been a little bit long, actually. Pisnik calling it clean, though. Rohrabacher relentless off the bounce. Let's have another look.
Yeah, I initially thought that was out, but...
Let's see if maybe close call replay can give us another look. We have that shot available. We'll see. There it is. Oh, that's good. That's in. Not for Etta Wright, but the previous shot for Rohrabacher. Thank you to our crew for getting that shot.
17-22.
Tina Pisnik and Etta Wright climbing back, 23-17.
Yeah, there's just not a lot that DC can do right now. Tina is just making every single ball. You see Rachel pulling the trigger a little more because she doesn't want to dink with her.
Rohrabacher's full attack too, right at the right hip of Etta Wright, who was cheating towards the middle.
18-23.
5-point hole now for DC. Rohrabacher staying alive in the fight. Chance to get to 20. This is scoreboard pressure incoming, potentially.
19-23.
took it right off the tape. Doesn't go over. Game point, Texas.
DC has done a good job of kind of closing that gap, though. This is not a horrible spot. Maybe one stop here, two stops.
24-19.
They're back in it.
Glozman hangs in the fight. DC has some work to do, but they're not out of it yet. Glozman with the serve. All the pressure on their side, though. Texas needs to earn it back to win on their serve. One game point saved by DC. Another missed backhand dink for Rachel Rohrabacher. Game point number 2 for Texas.
24-20.
Not yet. 2 game points saved by Glozman and Rohrabacher. They will continue to climb in the scoreboard, earning points on their side. Texas still has to win it on their serve. We'll see what DC can come up with here. Rohrabacher full steam ahead on the attack. 22 points now for DC.
Yeah, it served her well. She's been pretty aggressive, I'd say, these last 10 points. And it's no different, especially when she's starting to close the gap here.
No more timeouts left for either side. Oh, wow. Just wide for Rohrabacher. Game point number 3 for Texas. You feel like they have to close it out here. DC might come up with some magic at the end. We'll see. Etta Wright back to serve, the 2-time MLP champion, looking to add another. Wow. Rachel Rohrabacher, after missing 2 backhand dinks, hits the one that matters most. DC within 1 and a chance to tie it here.
To be down game point right there, to hit that aggressive of a backhand dink, I mean, that's gutsy.
DC ties it 24-all. A miss from Tina Pisnik, who has barely missed this entire first game. We knew this playoff series was going to be tight, and it has been all the way through since yesterday, 24-all. That's wide, too aggressive, trying to go wide on Pisnik. Loved the idea, just couldn't execute it. 4 game points now for Texas.
Great shots all around. I mean, everyone's being pretty aggressive for it being, 24-all. Too good by Tina there, super consistent.
25-24.
Etta Wright enforces her way through the points. It took 4 game points to get it done, and Texas takes the 1-game lead on DC after they stormed back. Side Quang Duong, Q to his left. James Ignatowich manning the left for DC. Dekel Bar on the right for the team in black. Here's Alshon back to serve.
Football, left foot.
Ooh, Onisha catching a football early on Dekel Bar. Kyle McKenzie shrugging his shoulders, saying, I didn't see it, but nobody questions Onisha Smith.
1-0.
She's on it.
That's something she doesn't usually miss, is the football.
Wow, Quang Duong with a couple of heavy rips. If Texas goes up 2-0, that would be massive for this team that must win or they are out and will be going home. Deep for Alshon on the crash towards the kitchen. Returning back from injury, health has been an issue for Alshon this season. That's a good response from Christian Alshon.
Yeah, you know, Christian usually plays the left, but with Quang and in MLP, he's been playing right. I mean, he's got a lot of variety on the right side. You see right there, he's crossing the middle with that one-handed backhand flick that he has. That's one of his signature shots. Super, super aggressive. I'd say he's probably top 3 on the right side players in pickleball. Super, super aggressive.
Such a passionate fan base on both sides. Electric atmosphere here indoors. Rain outside. Quang Duong has a missile of a forehand. How does he keep it so consistent with all the spin and the heavy grip that he puts on it?
You know, it's practice. I mean, he is on the practice court probably more than anyone. He puts the hours in for sure.
5-1.
And I mean, you just that's what you got to do. You got to put the hours in to be able to hit that shot consistently like he does.
Quang Duong remains patient in the dink battle to create the setup chance. This is similar to what happened yesterday. The Ranchers started getting hot. They got up early, and DC had to mount a comeback to come into the game. Now can Texas hang on to this momentum? It's hard to do for 25 points in rally scoring. That's a whole lot of pace coming at you from Dekel Bar. James Ignatowich told us at the desk last night, training with Dekel Bar and the pace that this guy hits the ball at, there's no better training partner because you're never going to see a faster ball than what Dekel Bar hits.
Yeah, I mean, every shot, he just has absolute cannons from every shot. His backhand, his forehand, his serve, everything. You know, it's one of the situations right now, too, with the Ranchers is, you know, 2 situations. You're either completely forgot about yesterday, you're restarting it, and you have something to prove. And the other side is you hope that, you know, you're playing well and you want to keep that momentum. You just hope to not kind of get that feeling again and let DC in. Kind of, you know, if you can start feeling the momentum going away, it's going to be an interesting match. So they've got to kind of hold this lead, I think.
Quang Duong with a big rip on the backhand side, looking for his first career MLP title. He had marquee wins this season, got his first singles title, also men's doubles title, playing alongside Christian Alshon. Magical year for the young 18-year-old. And Dekel Bar is a force to be reckoned with. Simple punch through the middle.
Also, we've kind of seen Quang evolve. He's worked on all his shots. Usually he's two-handed on his backhand side, but he's really been working on that one-handed backhand speed up as well as just the one-handed backhand dink. So he's kind of been able to develop all the shots, everything he needs to succeed, and he just puts the hours in.
5-8.
DC inching their way back in. And a missed third, not helping the cause for DC, trying to earn a comeback here. Texas keeps rolling. Quang Duong back to serve, incoming heavy topspin ball. That's deep. Texas lets it fly. Love watching Quang Duong's footwork. I mean, he is the most active player on the court. I mean, other than Jimmy hopping around up there with his calves. Oh, Dekel Bar. Quang Duong throwing his hands up in frustration. Not pleased with himself.
Also, you see all these players. They have great balance. They're usually in the right position most of the time. But Quang Duong is you're going to see him. He creates a lot of space off the kitchen line. Lets him be able to dink. You know, have a little more time when he's dinking. But he's a very, very active and physical player.
Denied again on the backhand dink. James Ignatowich, he did not feel like he played his best brand of pickleball yesterday in men's doubles. He and Rachel did pull out a mixed doubles win following the men's doubles win, just sneaking by.
11-6.
Said he relies on Dekel a lot in those moments. But a lot of it is what Texas is forcing him into right now. I mean, outside of the unforced errors, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, with Quang hitting that forehand in the middle like he does, he hits it with so much pace. It's so low to the net, but also right when it's getting over the net, it's dipping. He still has a lot of spin. And then not to mention you have Christian Alshon, you know, kind of a big presence coming into that kitchen. I mean, it's not easy. You gotta have to hit that perfect shot to the right.
Finally a miss from Quang Duong. He's been electric so far today. This is game 2. We're going for a best 3 out of 4 or a 5th tiebreak if we need it, which wouldn't surprise me in this matchup. I was surprised yesterday's match didn't go to a dream breaker. Quang Duong storms.
I mean, he can't really do much. So I think he's just really incorporated all the shots you need to have in pickleball, and kind of he's closed those gaps. He's closed those holes that people were picking on before, and he's just improved so much. Kind of from his first event in DC, he's proved himself, and he's continued to do that.
James Ignatowich trying to do some damage. Back to serve, down 4. And a football called by Quang Duong will give DC a little bit of a break and a little bit of leverage now. 3 points seems a lot more manageable.
It's one of those things, too. Texas came out very hot, you know, with a 6-7 point lead. It's one of those things, it's like, would you rather do that in the beginning or towards the end? I would say towards the end because, you know, DC has started to find their rhythm.
And right back at it is the Texas Rangers. They know how valuable it is to gain a lead on this team, but they also know how sneaky it can be at the end in a DC comeback. ATP defended, but the pop-up eaten up by Dekel Bar.
I think the DC team as well, we've seen it time and time again. I think they play better towards the end of matches. They start kind of settling in. They start finding their rhythm. And we'll see if they can kind of put an end to the Rangers right here.
This third, James Ignatowich frustrated with that one. And we're wondering where these teams will be headed next. Winner of this playoff series will advance to Orlando. There's St. Louis and New Jersey earned the top 2 byes, too, in the championship rounds. Dekel Bar playing big in a comeback situation.
Great hands there, great coverage in the middle, especially. He saw kind of that James Ignatowich loaded up on that backhand off the ground, and Dekel just kind of took over there.
Mentioned the St. Louis Shock a moment ago. And Patrick Quinn and Gabe Tario lingering around the booth at the moment. I'll have to get their insight at the break, what they're seeing. capability of Christian Alshon, looking for his second premier level MLP title. He won 2 at the challenger level. But that's the level that Texas needs to see out of Christian. And whoever has the hotter hand will go out first in mix, by the way, for the Texas Ranchers.
16-12.
We'll see who they deem that to be at the end of this one.
Timeout point 13. 13-16.
What a play by James Ignatowich, crashing to the middle. Pegs Christian Alshon, and there's a little rivalry between these two, James Ignatowich and Christian Alshon. Supposedly the beef has been resolved and they're playing together on the PPA side at some point.
14-16.
But pretty funny to watch them go at it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I never thought they'd actually pair up, but they have. I mean, I think it was a little bit of just banter back and forth on Twitter, and just kind of a friendly little rivalry.
It derived from their early tennis days. Both reside in the Southeast Florida area.
I think maybe they put their egos aside and maybe said, hey, if we team up, maybe we'll be pretty good together.
17-15.
Two misses for Ignatowich. Can't handle the pace of Quang Duong. 18-15. Texas maintaining a 3-point gap.
18-15.
Becoming more difficult to do so down the stretch, though. Deep. Texas takes one of their biggest leads of the game.
He's got a good backhand roll dink, but if you can kind of dink to him, push him back, it opens up the dink to that forehand side where he has a little bit more of an extreme grip than most people.
Off the tape. Quang Duong. I don't know if he'd be my target. Well, I guess you have to hit the right target against him to make it effective. But 5 points, and Texas is up 2-0 on DC. His third into the net, and perhaps that's why the boys near the booth say to target Christian on the return and catch St. Louis Shock in action in Orlando November 22nd for the semifinals. St. Louis, the 2 seed.
Also, I think that the reason why you target Christian on the return is so Quang's not ripping that forehand drive that he's so good at, and then having Christian come in with his length, crashing on the net.
Oh, James Ignatowich tags Quang Duong on its way out. DC back within 2.
Yeah, and you notice James is actually pretty far off the line as well. I think he's pretty much just committing to that two-handed backhand roll because he knows that that's what Quang's gonna do, and Quang's kind of they're just gonna see who has the better roll, I guess.
Good spot for Quang Duong. Maybe not the ball to poach if you're Dekel Bar. Quang Duong back to serve now to Ignatowich. Keep your eye on the return. Oh my.
Yeah,
a miss from Ignat. Is that the cost of being so far off the line there?
It is. Because sometimes you want to be on that kitchen line, and you want to be taking balls out of the air if you can, because it takes away time from your opponent.
Miscommunication. Ignatowich lets it through the middle. What happened? What was the breakdown there?
You know, that's James's ball for sure. He has the forehand in the middle. Yeah, I mean, he's getting pushed off the line a little bit. He should be at that kitchen line taking that ball, especially out of the air. I think maybe he's getting pushed back because of how aggressive Quang and Christian are playing and how much reach Christian has, you know, with that backhand flick.
19-23.
DC needs some juice here to mount a comeback. James Ignatowich punches it down closer to the kitchen, uses his length and his reach, and DC hits the 20-point mark. Dekel Bar back to serve now. Christian Alshon in a high-pressured situation on this return with a heavy Dekel Bar serve incoming. Quang Duong targets the hip of Dekel Bar and game point for the Ranchers.
Yeah, that's usually a very risky spot.
24-20.
But he just got it right enough to that right hip.
Christian Alshon. The hot hand, they want to sweep Texas. They're not just going for a win. They want to win this thing 3-0. Yates.
Yeah, they're just trying to get redemption from yesterday. I think DC is reacting, so they put Tina and Quang Duong out there. I think it's a good choice by DC. They took a 28-26 win over them. Vivian Glozman and Dekel took that one. I think they're confident now. They're ready to do that again, and we'll see what happens.
It was close, though. So if you're Texas, you feel pretty confident, I would think, in this matchup. If you were just inches away from taking it, Vivian Glozman and Dekel Bar both missed a couple of sitters late in the game in a closing situation, and this one was flipping back and forth late last night, and Tina, Pisnik, and Q just let the moment slip away, but now, roles reversed, they have the chance to close out this match and push this series to a third match later on today. Both teams vying for a spot in the championship rounds in Orlando. Dekel Bar goes down to the feet of Tina Pisnik. DC could still have hopes. If they win this game, they could push this to a dream breaker potentially. Have to win both mixed doubles, though. Misting for Vivian Glozman, and earlier at the desk, Matt identified Vivian as his X factor. What do you think needs to happen on her side to have success or to be a positive X factor in this match?
Yeah, I think she has a really high ceiling. She has the reach, she has the power, she has the dinks. I think it just really depends on kind of how she shows up for that day. She's super dangerous when she's playing well. And I think if she's showing up, she's one of the top girls or women in the game.
Big play for big Dekel Bar.
2-1.
Quang Duong finds it again down the line on Glozman. Just last minute shifts it over. Inside out, that's impressive.
And that's one thing that Viv is going to have to be careful of, is Quang targeting her and not getting stuck too far back. I think she's got to try to hold that kitchen line and kind of just hold her ground. She's got a great two-handed backhand, especially when she's able to slide. So as long as Quang doesn't get that to the right hip, I think it's a dangerous spot.
3-2. Side out, point 3.
Big serve long, though, for Dekel Bar. Ranchers in a win or go home scenario could win this series on this game right here. This match series, they would still play a third match though.
Side out, point 4.
Great play from Vivian Glozman. Love to see more of that. Glozman looking for her first career MLP title. Every player on the court looking for their first Major League Pickleball title. Caught the paddle of Dekel Bar. Q points it out. Texas ties it back at 4. DC as a franchise
4-4.
won the MLP Dallas event last season here. Texas has never won it. And another sit or miss for Glozman. That was troublesome for them yesterday. Just some routine shots that they have a tough time executing in the crunch time moments. Obviously early in this one, still have a little bit of time to recover. But late last night, they made some interesting misses.
Yeah, you know, Dekel and Viv are so powerful. I mean, they have all the shots, they have all the power, but it's just whether or not you can put that together and kind of not let those shots kind of get away from you. Don't rush. I mean, if things are working, they're a super, super dangerous team. But I think they just have to cut back on the loose errors.
Dekel Bar with a slapper. Vivian Glozman with the setup credit. 1-point lead back to DC. Kyle McKenzie told me ahead of this match too, which I kept in confidence until we got to this point. He was going to keep the same matchups no matter what from yesterday, obviously because they had success in both mixed doubles games in the first match. Why change it? That's so good. Vivian Glozman taking over. 2-point lead for DC. How'd she find that corner?
I mean, that's one of those things. If Viv can lean in, be sitting at the kitchen line, you see it right here. She takes a couple dinks out of the air, and then once that one is a little bit high, then she pulls the trigger. I think she needs to keep targeting Quang Duong down the line, trying to get it down to the ground with his backhand, and that's going to open up the forehand a lot more.
And that's somewhat what she just did to set up Dekel Bar that time. Pop-up chance given by Q. Rediscussing the strategy.
8-5.
His father, Duke, never too far from the courts.
Point.
He's behind the bench of the Texas Rangers, cheering on his son.
9-5.
9-5 lead for the DC Pickleball team.
Side out, point.
Nice third into the net for Vivian Glozman, who's been the star of the last 4 points. There's Duke. If you're on the Ranchers and
6-9.
you're looking for advice, are you looking to Ryan DeWidgeon or Duke Duong? Guy's a legend.
I mean, Quang's definitely looking at his dad, that's for sure. Wow.
Great play by Vivian Glozman, shuffling across the kitchen. Duke not pleased so far with the Ranchers' performance in game 3. Still have a 2-game cushion though, that feels good. Yesterday they thought they were going to be in this scenario up 2-0, but fumbled the men's match and then got beat in regulation. Dekel Bar and Vivian Glozman looking to save
11-6.
the match for their team. They could still get out the door in 2 matches here on this series.
Ooh. Great setup by Dekel Bar, leaning in, just not quite executed there. But I think that's where they're going to have success if he's being a little more aggressive, Viv's being a little more aggressive, and kind of targeting Quang, because it's going to open up the court a lot more.
12-7.
Dekel Bar. They're back in action here at the MLP Dallas playoffs. Dekel Bar and Vivian Glozman coming up with a remarkable performance so far in this matchup against Q and Tina. Yesterday's game results, 28-26. Glozman and Bar took this game off of these two, looking for redemption.
I think DC has a great game plan right now. They're definitely being the aggressors. They're setting up. They kind of have 3 different set plays they're doing. They're kind of going a lot to the middle. They're spreading Quang Duong thin a little bit, opening up the court.
Side out,
They keep doing this, you know, it's going to be a routine match.
Dekel Bar feeling it. Q will have to come up with some answers. Down 6. Texas looking for the sweep to push a match number 3. DC looking to close out the playoff series in 2 matches. There's one for Texas, just waiting on the miss from DC. Very patient.
I like what Viv Glozman's doing, though. She's being very aggressive with her dink. She's taking balls out of the air. That's how you start to kind of build that disguise whenever it is you wanna start speeding up.
It's a feathery drop from Q. That's one way to slow down the hot hands of Dekel Bar. Tough to get it on the ground, though, in the kitchen when he's up there, because his reach is so far in. You have to hit the perfect drop.
I mean, if he's established at the kitchen line and he's reaching in, I mean, you have to hit it on a dime for him to not take it out of the air.
Q looking to be the hero. Keeps the damage just to 4 points. How about this angle from the young 18-year-old star?
He was like, I'm done with this point. No more.
11-15.
Nice ding from Tina. I see the idea there, trying to keep Dekel honest down the line. Just couldn't pull it off.
I think that's definitely the game plan to kind of neutralize. You go to the line. Dekel squeezes middle a lot, so if you can get it behind him.
Q buries it into the breadbasket of Dekel Bar, who simply shovels it back over.
12.
Have another look.
It's not quite deep enough, but I do like the lob there, especially over that backhand left side of Tina Pisnik.
Quang Duong off of a hot hands. Tina Pisnik setup. Texas is in it.
Not quite sure how Tina got this one. Kind of just poked at it.
They need a small run, though. Haven't been able to catch DC in their lead yet. because Dekel Bar is playing out of his mind on the other side for DC. Every time Texas gets a bit of momentum, it's pulled away from Dekel Bar.
Great setup, just not quite there. A little too close to Vivian Glozman's body. She wasn't able to quite be able to slide out of the way there.
She felt she was there and should have gotten it, just misconnected.
14-17.
Pisnik tests the middle on Dekel Bar. Maybe not the best place to put that one. She knows it. 18-14, DC looking to stay alive in this playoff match number 2. Best 2 out of 3 playoff series.
18-14.
Duong goes right at Glozman again. She's there, just half second behind it.
Yeah, if I was Viv Glozman, I like her going down the line to Quang Duong, but I like to see her go to his right foot. He's got such a good backhand, such a good two-handed backhand. You can just kind of get that to his right-hand side where he has a little bit more of an extreme forehand grip. I think that'll start allowing them to create a little more and start opening up that backhand side on Quang.
Pisnik has had enough. Texas within 1. A sweep still in reach for the Ranchers, who trailed by 4 most of the way through this game number 3. How'd they come back into it, Yates Johnson?
You know, it's momentum. DC was on a roll, and Texas just kind of got a couple points going their way. They kind of shifted the momentum, and they started being the aggressors. They started getting that kitchen line. They started leaning in a little more. Tina Pisnik has been pulling the trigger a little bit more at Dekel Bar and being pretty successful with it. I think if I'm DC, I would say Viv Glozman is getting stuck in that dink rally cross court with Tina, and Tina's just waiting to pull the trigger. I think if Viv Glozman can kind of go to the middle and force Quang Duong to be hitting forehand dinks, that's going to open up her down the line dink to his backhand.
DC, no timeouts.
Let's see where DC targets this return. Quang Duong serving over to Dekel Bar.
Time in. 17-18.
That's Q wanted it.
It's a good eye by Vivian Glozman, able to get it out of the way on that one.
2-point lead back to DC.
19-17.
Service battle between Bar and Duong has been a fun one to watch. Wow, Duong was on it.
Yeah, you definitely want to stay away from that two-handed side on Quang. He can absolutely rope that thing.
Yeah, if you throw pace at it, he's already swinging midway through before the ball even crosses the net. That thing is being punished. Wow. Dekel Bar with an incredible Ernie from out of nowhere. Tina thought that was in a safe place. I thought it was too, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like, that wasn't even really that much of a line dink, but Dekel's able to use that length. He read it pretty early. Great execution there.
Tina Pisnik then goes to the right side of Dekel Bar after getting burned to the left.
Yeah, I would say for Dekel, that's Viv Glozman's ball. Viv was sliding. She saw Dekel cover that. She pulled off a little bit.
19-20.
But great location from Pisnik. Couple missed returns from Dekel Bar. You've got to cut back on those easy, you know, like you just can't be giving those up. But Quang is absolutely roping his serve, so it's not easy.
20 all, and not anymore. DC back on top by one. A couple of gifts on both sides. Tina Pisnik misses the third. Placing those well all match long. And a gift of a missed return right back over to DC. They get two.
22-20.
What a shot from Quang Duong. Electrifying talent he is. Texas with another chance to tie it late in game 3.
21-22.
Oh, Vivian Glozman, no looky cookie down the line, out of the air, inside out on Quang Duong. What a moment to pull this one out. That was pretty.
She's taking the ball out of the air on that dink, and that is setting up that next shot. If she can just keep doing that.
Tina Pisnik picks her spots. Texas with another chance to tie it. Big point right here. It's either a game point for DC or a tie game. Quang Duong goes for broke, tries to tie it. Too big, well wide, and DC earns a game point to extend this match to 4 games. Glozman back to serve to Pisnik. They struggled to close it out yesterday. We'll see if those same issues are present here today. Wow, and a missed dink from Vivian Glozman lets Texas off the hook.
Tina Pisnik doing a great job of leaning in, pushing Viv Glozman back, kind of catching that line.
23-24.
Ranchers could tie it. And they will. Quang Duong rips it down the line. Texas back intact. Tie game and a chance to sweep this match number 2. Looking for a game point here.
24.
Oh, masterful work at the kitchen for Tina Pisnik. Couple out wide to Glozman and down the line to Dekel Bar. Match point, Texas looking to push a 3rd in this match series. In a win-or-go-home scenario, Duong back to serve to Dekel Bar. Oh, Dekel Bar saves the day. Pisnik almost got it back. 25 all. Wild game 3, as we would expect. Same story as yesterday between these two. His earnings have been unreal this match. Off the tape, Glozman gets a break. Game point number 2 for DC.
(26-25).
Dekel Bar forcing the issue on Tina Pisnik. She was on it.
Not quite sure how she's able to get that one down, especially to Dekel's feet. Too good.
26 all, 2 game points saved by Texas.
No.
Texas on top again. Match point number 2. What is happening?
I mean, he set that up perfectly, that it was exactly what he wanted.
Quang Duong with a chance to close out the match and extend this series to 3. Oh, Tina saw a match win in her eyes. Top of the tape, DeWiggin still smiling on the bench, 27 all.
You can just see it from the crowd as well. Everyone just moving in their seats. Every single point is crucial.
2 match points saved by DC. Oh, Dekel, gutsy play, attacks Quang Duong, and then finally catches Tina Pisnik out of position. 28-27. Game point number 3 for DC.
I thought Dekel was a little bit in trouble there, coming all the way over.
Me too.
Quang Duong somehow able to reach out and get that ball down.
27.
Oh, no.
Oh, Glozman with a chance to close it out. Quang barely escaping in that one, too. 3 game points saved. We remain tied at 28 points apiece.
It was a great trigger pull by Vivian Glozman, but Quang was somehow able to get a paddle on that one.
28-28.
Pisnik back to serve to Glozman. Pisnik gets Dekel Bar down the line. Match point number 3 for the Texas Ranchers, looking to win match 2. Duke unfazed. Looks the same in moments that they win as he does when they lose. Oh, Dekel Bar attacks first. Looked a little tight there in the dink rally on both sides. Who wants to close it out? 3 match points saved by Glozman and Bar. These 2 teams love bonus pickleball. Last night it was 28-26. Tonight, 29 all, and then some. Tina goes big, it's deep. Another game point for DC. That's 4 game points and 3 match points saved by DC.
We'll see if we end it here, but this could keep going.
30-29.
Oh, Quang Duong stays in the fight. to tie it at 30.
It's one of those shots where Viv Glozman has to come over to that middle to cover Dekel Bar. But it's one of those shots where you have to win this point because you're so out of position. Quang did a great job of covering the middle, knowing where she was going.
30-30.
Great execution.
Wow.
There's that pressure I was talking about from Viv Glozman. If she can keep Quang back, especially dinking to his right foot or his forehand dink, that's where you want to be.
5 game points for the DC Pickleball team. Can they close it here? Quang Duong, too heavy at the kitchen. 31 all. The record for a game, by the way, in points scored, 40-38. That was the Orlando Squeeze and the New York Hustlers in Grand Rapids at the premier level earlier this season, but we're approaching 40 here.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked with the way these points are going.
Quang Duong, a big rip again, and another match points for the Ranchers with that drive. 32-31.
32-31.
4 match points for Texas. Oh
wow.
my, and a chance to close it out. Nobody can do it.
You can just feel the tension in here from everyone, from the crowd, from the benches, from the players. This is incredible.
32 all, DC, and Vivian Glozman back to serve. Dekel Bar perseveres in the line battle against Pisnik. 33-32, 6 game points for DC. DC saves the match for their team and comes away with it 34-32. DC still alive, but barely. What a moment for those two.
Wow, what, you know, you have Christian, you have James. They both like to get loud. They both like to go at each other. I think this is going to be a super entertaining match. You know, DC took it yesterday, but I mean, this is a must-win match for Texas.
Yesterday, the score was 25-17 in favor of Rachel Rohrabacher and James Ignatowich. That was the game that put them ahead 2-1 on the series against Texas. Then it was Glozman and Dekel Bar that closed it out. So a little bit different looking order here today.
Yeah, and I think Christian Alshon, you know, he is a guy who survives on energy. He loves the energy. So I think right now, after losing yesterday and what happened yesterday in men's doubles as well as mixed, I think he has something to prove here. I think you're going to see him get loud. You're going to try to, you know, you're going to see him try to get some energy from the crowd, and he's got something to prove here.
And a little in-match rivalry again between Alshon and Ignatowich. Alshon finds the baseline early. Ignatowich lets it go. That one looked like it was going well long.
It's definitely a way to start the match.
1-0.
Alshon won a title here last year, ironically with DC. And that is a cannon from James Ignatowich. Can't go there on the lob.
I don't think you want either Christian or James hitting overheads in this scenario.
1-1. Side out, point 2.
Rohrabacher wanted the close, just a bit long. Texas on top by 1 early. And Wright, the 2-time MLP champion, serving to Rachel Rohrabacher. Wow. Unfortunate for Etta Wright.
You're going to be seeing a lot from Christian and James as well is that backhand flick. They both have a lot of reach. They reach in the kitchen really well. They hold their ground at the kitchen really well. I think it's going to be kind of a game of that, of who pulls the trigger, who's able to defend the best, but also who's able to cut down on those errors.
I think that third just skipped off the net ever so slightly in front of Christian Alshon. Enough to throw off his timing. Oh, tweener out of nowhere. And then the follow-up miss. Tough to blow the highlight reel there.
Yeah, you know, I think he was going for a Burt there. He was expecting that ball to be a little higher. James was able to kind of knock that ball down.
4-2.
Christian surviving, though. Too good of a dink by James Ignatowich cross court.
That's deep. James Ignatowich gets involved in the offense. DC could sweep the playoff series if they pull off a win here and win in the Dream Breaker.
And you know, if you're DC, you definitely want to try to win this match, take it to a Dream Breaker. You don't necessarily want to be playing another match later today if they tie it up. This is a really good team. Obviously, we see how close the games are, how physical and mental it is.
6-2.
So they're definitely wanting to try to get out of here in 2.
Side out, point 3.
Third shot miss for Rachel Rohrabacher. She was trying to drive it down the line on Alshon.
3-6.
Here's another look. Ooh.
I'm going to say that's in. From here, watching it live, it kind of looked like it skipped a little bit. Maybe a little bit of a premature call from Christian Alshon, but it is going pretty fast and it's pretty low.
Yeah, this is slowed down to 140 frames per second.
That's about half on. Kind of a good indicator is if the line's in the middle of the ball, that ball's on the line.
Yeah.
After review, the call on the court is overturned. The ball was in. Texas Rangers lose 1 free video challenge.
Good challenge.
Remaining. DC Pickleball team, you have 3 free video challenges remaining. Resume play at 7-3.
All right, good challenge there for James Ignatowich. 4-point lead for DC.
Time in. 7-3.
A little bit of off speed from Rohrabacher. Alshon couldn't do anything with it on the backhand side. 8-3 lead for DC. And in terms of Dream Breaker records, Yates, DC 5-5 on the season. 5 Dream Breaker wins, 5 Dream Breaker losses. Texas only has 1 Dream Breaker win and 3 Dream Breaker losses. So this could be dangerous for Texas to get into a Dream Breaker scenario, despite the prowess of Quang Duong in singles.
Yeah, you know, DC, I mean, they've playing 10 Dream Breakers throughout the year. Definitely something you don't want to see.
This from Etta Wright. DC starting to pull ahead in a big way in a must-win situation for them to stay involved in this match. I would love to not to come back here this afternoon to play third.
Wow.
What a play from the lengthy James Ignatowich, keeping his feet clean away from the kitchen. Alshon
10-5.
in some trouble. That's wide. Well, there is some concerts taking place this week for the World Championships, and if you haven't noticed already, the music picking up in our mics.
11-5.
Rehearsals taking place next door. Some epic lineups, though. Great musicians coming to town. Morgan Evans, you know him.
Yep.
Side out, point
Big pickleball guy. He's got a deadly backhand dink.
All right. Texas could use some deadly backhand dinks in a 5-point hole here. Feels like Texas needs to win this in regulation or they might be done.
Wow.
That's good.
Point.
Not sure how he managed that one, but somehow it drops in.
Lineup-wise, I feel like DC's better matched in a dream breaker. Would you agree?
7-11.
For singles?
Yeah, I would say so.
Because of the ladies.
Yes, yes. You know, Dekel doesn't play a lot of singles, but he's a big guy. He covers a lot of court. He's more than capable. You know, Christian and James, I would suspect that they would play against each other for sure. But yeah, I think it would come down to the women.
Well, the players are going to have to battle through some loud music midway through match number 4 in a playoff setting. That's, hey, it could work for you or against you. Just enjoy the music and let the playing do the talking. That's deep for Rohrabacher on the return. She was one of the players looking over to the bench like, what the heck is going on here? Can we quiet this down? Can they do this at a later date?
Yeah, you know, it wouldn't be a problem if, you know, it wasn't raining outside. We're not indoors. You know, outdoors where you'd be far enough away where the center court is, but something you just have to roll with.
Okay, a little comeback for Texas. Don't count the Ranchers out yet. Their fan base. Here, Christian Alshon, Etta Wright tying it up after trailing quite large here in game 4. Must-win situation, both sides for different reasons. Big drive from Alshon. Rohrabacher chunks it into the net.
12-11.
Etta Wright was locked and loaded on the backhand. Right through the middle. 13-11 lead now for the Texas Ranchers. Ride tall, they say. The Ranchers could close out match 2 on the other side of this short commercial break. Just kidding, we're going to stay here due to the little delay of the music. And what have you seen so far from the Ranchers in this comeback situation? They seem to be out of it early in game 4. How'd they turn the tide?
I think it came down to execution and just not maybe making as many errors. I think it was smart. I'm not sure if it was a strategy there, but when we came back from the break, Christian Alshon, massive drive to start the point on coming back. Rachel Rohrabacher with the miss. I think that's kind of one of those things. Maybe he's trying to set a precedent and come at DC. I think whoever is going to be the most aggressive, but also needs to execute, I think that's going to be who's going to come out on top.
Texas has to win this match to force a deciding match 3 in this playoff series. DC could sweep the playoff series with a match win here in match 2. Match 1 was played yesterday. Match 3 would be later this afternoon. Christian Alshon being the aggressor all the way through the last 3 points. 3-point cushion now for the Ranchers.
14-11. Side out, point 12.
Unlucky net there. Christian Alshon had a little bit too much time to decide what to do.
12-14. Football.
Oh no, foot fault called on Christian Alshon on his way to the Burts. DC could tie it here.
And it's one of those shots, if you're pulling off the Burt, you got to get that ball for a winner.
13-14.
Because you're just so far out of position.
Side out, point 15.
Had it right on his paddle. Just barely missed it. Texas will take back the serve and the points. Alshon serving to Ignatowich.
Wow.
Inside out to the corner. Beautiful shot for Rachel Rohrabacher out of the air.
That's one of the benefits of taking that dink out of the air. That's one of the shots that you can disguise. You look like you're dinking it cross court and you just change direction. Great shot.
Rachel Rohrabacher ties it at 15. First she goes right, then she goes left. An unstoppable force.
She is catching fire.
15-15.
Oh,
Side out, point
finally a
16.
miss from Rohrabacher as GC mounted the comeback. Texas looking to squeak out a
16-15.
Game 4 win to close out the match. That's deep.
Point.
Ranchers up 2.
Great eye from Christian Alshon letting that one go.
17-15.
How about that play from James Ignatowich? Comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, a little ambitious there. You know, Christian has to cover so much court. You're exposing yourself to the left side. James read that very, very well, using that two-handed backhand of his.
16.
Alshon thought he had the opening. Denied. Had the great James Ignatowich.
16-17.
Back to serve now to Etta Wright. Oh, funked it. Into the kitchen, not even close. Rolled it down to the net. What happened?
One of those shots, kind of a curveball that's a lot slower than he thought. Also, you kind of see James Ignatowich sneaking in there, applying pressure. Kind of take your eye off the ball a little bit.
17-17.
Wow, great drop.
Point.
Unbelievable drop from Ignatowich, and 2 back-to-back misses for Christian Alshon.
18-17.
One way to bounce back for Alshon. Tie game continues. 18-all.
Yeah, I would say that's James Ignatowich's ball right there. Middle, it's a little lower. He can't hit that on his backhand side.
Point.
One-point lead back to Texas.
19-18.
Two misses for Ignatowich. 2018 lead for the Ranchers. 5 points, and this match is theirs.
20-18.
Rachel Rohrabacher toying with Christian Alshon down the line.
I mean, hey, Rachel, just do that every time. Great speed as well. I think if you hit that too hard, it's not as executed. You know, perfect speed, kind of 60%.
19-20.
You're not really able to counter that hard, so great decision there.
Deep for Alshon. DC ties it at 20. Just strange misses at strange times, it seems, for both sides.
Yeah, there's a couple opportunities here and there, you know.
20-20.
Some missed, some executed.
Side out, point 21.
Beautiful close to the kitchen. Texas back on top. Can they hang on to take the match?
21-20.
Big drive from Alshon. It's deep. On the inside in, and Alshon did miss some time late in the season, so that could be impacting a little bit of his timing and consistency at the moment.
21-21.
Response from Christian Alshon, full extension. Rachel Rohrabacher has been teasing him down the line this entire fourth game.
Yeah, great defense there. Christian held his ground, he leaned in. Great extension there to get that backhand flick down to Rachel's feet.
Rachel Rohrabacher says she thrives in the highest pressure moments. Wow, a dipping drive from Etta Wright. That thing dipped like crazy.
Yeah, that was a nice and deep serve right on the line. And she took advantage of that high ball.
High ding to the middle, James Ignatowich all over it. DC looks to tie it.
Timeout, Texas Ranchers, 22-23.
Texas calls a timeout with a chance to take match 2. Serve on the side of DC. What gives, other than execution, obviously, in the highest pressured moments, what gives in these final points?
You know, it comes down to consistency and executing those shots. You know, the adrenaline is high, the pressure is high. Momentum, you're not really relying on momentum here, especially at this score line this late in the game. I think it's going off instinct, really. It's kind of just deciding that you're gonna go back to what you know. You're gonna go back to basics sometimes, and it's just decision making. It's knowing when to speed up, when to dink, when to reset, and you know, whoever does that best is gonna come out on top on this one.
15 seconds. DC one timeout.
Rachel Rohrabacher will be the server at 22 on the even score line over to Etta Wright. We will gauge said decision making in just a moment.
22-23.
Thought DC was going to get out of it with that defense from Rohrabacher. Instead, the Ranchers take Match points and a chance to take match 2. James Ignatowich slaps it across the courts.
23.
You thought Christian Alshon had control of it. James Ignatowich had other thoughts. 1 match point saved by DC.
Yeah, not sure how he's able to pick up that backhand
That was
kind of
unbelievable.
poke volley, hitting it right on the edge of his paddle.
Okay, Texas earns the ball back and another match point on their side. 2 for this team. They had 4 match points in the previous mixed doubles game.
24-23.
So a total of 6 match points for Texas. Christian Alshon and Etta Wright secure a match 2 win. Texas still alive in the playoff series and will extend this to a deciding match number 3 that will take place tonight in Dallas around 6 p.m. What a moment for the Texas Ranchers.
Yeah, I mean, what a turn of events. It was nail-biter there to the very end, but it just came down to execution. Texas Ranchers did that.
Unbelievable finish there from the Texas Ranchers. Neck and neck down the stretch. Incredible. We're going to game 3.
Welcome in, Cameron Blackwood alongside Matt Manassi. While we wait for the 2 players here, I mean, such a change of events from yesterday. Really saw not almost a run over, but when you lose 1-3, then you come back and win 3-1. I mean, what are the discussions that you're having with your team?
I mean, I think the X factor was Christian Alshon. We talked about it in the pre-show. He needed to show up today, and he showed up in a major way. That makes the Texas Ranchers an almost unbeatable team, or a very good team, and we have them at the desk. So that team, the whole team, Texas Ranchers, showed up and showed out.
Well, congratulations. We have Etta Wright, Christian Alshon now joining us. Etta, I'm going to start with you. I know that's a crazy turnaround. Yesterday, you guys lose 1-3. You come out here. You were up significantly in men's doubles, in women's doubles. They come back, make it very, very tight. But what were the changes that you guys made to come back and solidify this win to send it to a 3rd game?
I would just say it was just staying present in the moment. Like, each point counts and it matters, and so I think we did a good job of executing and just staying tough in those points, even though, you know, we were playing a tough team and they're coming back, but I thought we did well.
Christian, before the match, I said you were the X factor of this outcome. Yesterday, I don't think you brought your best game. How did you change it out there? And I thought you played great.
Yeah, we've had a lot of days to prepare for this, and I would say I was a little over-prepared for the match yesterday. Like, I trained in the morning and then played for like a couple hours before just so I could be super ready, and I think I ended up just playing too much today. I'm like, just do what you usually do. Come out like an hour before, make sure you're prepared, and not overdo it. And I think yesterday I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to perform since I had so much time to prepare, whereas today I just came out and did my thing.
We have a couple highlights here we want to show you guys and talk us through some of them. Like we said, it was such a tight match for you guys to come back, especially in those clutch points here. We'll take a look. Game 1, starting off women's doubles. Etta, we're seeing you and Tina really gelling today a little bit. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I think we had a game plan and we've been practicing it, and I think it shows. And I think it also shows our versatility, being able to play on both sides.
Yeah, what was the move to the right about? Normally a left side dominant player.
I like my forehand. And so, yeah, no, I think it also gives a different look, and it works for us.
And here we see in men's doubles, there was some miscommunication on the side of DC. Were you guys really pressuring that, or what was the specific game plan for you, Christian?
Yeah, don't want to give away too much, but just getting to the net was key. When the longer the point is, the more likely we're going to win the point, statistically based off previous matches. So we just really wanted to get into the point and beat them in the soft game.
And this was a tough one here. We really thought you guys were going to take it 3-0. Were you guys prepared to come out and play, or did you think they were going to close it out? I'd also go with you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I'm on the court, I'm looking to win, and so helping out my team as best I can. And
did you feel any extra pressure to close it out right there in 3 there?
Yeah, you don't want that to go to a dream breaker, and we've got to play them again, so let's, beat them as best as we can the first time, and kind of now they have all the pressure.
And speaking of playing them again, first of all, are you annoyed with seeing this team so many times? But seriously, you're going to go outdoors, a little bit different than indoors. Does that change the strategy, the preparation, any of it?
Well, I mean, I'll probably sweat just as much outdoors as I am right now. It's very humid indoors, but it's also humid outdoors right now. It's cloudy, so atmosphere will change it a little bit.
And like we said, a little bit changes here, but let's talk about if we make it to the Dream Breaker. You guys now both have a win. What's the strategy? Because on paper, they might look like they are the better team. Is there any specifics that you guys would do in that Dream Breaker?
I think we have two really solid male singles players, and also I think Tina and I are the underdogs, but we have some secret weapons.
Ooh,
we don't play it on paper anyway. That's not MLP.
No,
Come on now.
It's MLP.
It is MLP. Well, congratulations, Texas Ranchers. You guys tying it up 1-1, and good luck going into the third game later today.
Thank you.
And from us here at the Pickleball TV desk, thank you guys so much for joining us. It has been an incredible morning so far in